from anywhere, but the Swedes are pretty great.
I agree. Swedish accents are pretty great.
I mean, that's just
now that you
me.
mention it, and
that's
I'm
just my
Swedish.
opinion. I mean, I am a little Swedish too, believe it or not. Just a tiny bit.
A little bit.
Tiny fragment. Like, I mean, I'm not going to say my last name, but it's a very, very Swedish last name.
Welcome back, everybody, to a late night edition of the Weekly Narrative live stream. You're here with Jeremy and Delaney.
Welcome.
We just got done watching the debate, and I hope you did too, because it's going to be one of the things that we talk about tonight.
Just one of many things for our millions of viewers at home.
Millions of viewers, yep. I could see a lot of open seating out there. Come on, just fill it in. Get your popcorn and your hot dogs.
Get the cheers going, you know. We want to hear it.
Get comfortable, grab a seat, because we're going to be talking for a while here. Yep.
I mean, for a little bit. It just depends on how long we decide to go.
Potentially all night, I don't know.
I mean, I don't know about that.
All right.
I know you have to get up early and, you know, do stuff, so.
We'll do a 24-hour stream one of these days.
Just if YouTube would let us. I don't know. Can you do a 24-hour?
No, I'm not capable of doing a 24-hour stream.
I wouldn't either. I wouldn't want to.
I was totally joking.
I mean.
I would not do a 24-hour stream. That would be horrifying.
Thank God, because I wouldn't want to watch that. Not going to lie.
Just over. Well, okay, not 24 hours. But this weekend, if you guys didn't see it, we went to a women's march in Sacramento. The video is up now. If you did not see that already,
check it out. It's pretty great.
Direct your attention to the video section of my channel. It is the most recent one on there.
It's been a while since you've done a man on the street.
It has been a while, yeah.
That was my first women's march ever, so I felt just very honored to go with you.
You were participating in the women's march part of it, but also a camera woman.
Yeah, I was I was filming, so I wasn't on their video, but I was filming him because it's my first time ever doing it.
And you did a good job on the video too, by the way. I think she did a great job.
I thought I did pretty good. I got some pretty good clips in there, and some of the stuff that happened was just like. It was
That's
so great.
how it goes. There's always some cringe, strange stuff that happens at those things.
It was spectacular just seeing you in your element and interacting with them. That was fun. It was fun. It was fun to just see it myself, but also participate in my own way, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, so make sure you guys check that one out. It was fun. I think you'll enjoy the video.
Yeah, I mean.
And it was a kind of a half and half type situation. It wasn't all crazy people. There was some reasonable people on there too. So.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
it was refreshing anyway to see that.
And when we got to see the crazy on both sides, not just the crazy like radical leftists, but also the crazy freaking right wingers that just like showed up and were blasting their music and flipping them off back. You know,
exactly.
That was pretty great. I was like, okay, well, these are the Trumpers that I don't like and I don't want to be associated with.
Too far for you?
Too far for me. But the ones that were like, you know, waving to them and smiling and saying like, I love you. Those are the ones that I associate with more because like. That's nice. As if when they're like flipping you off and you say like I love you, thank you, have a nice day. It's like, oh crap. Like
yeah. What do you say to that? How do you maintain an angry disposition against that?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I saw a lot of most hate and negativity coming from the left, but like I said, there were the few Trumpers that were like being really rude, and I was like, hey man, stop. But then there were the people that were just there, like that one kid that was just trying to help the homeless in the park.
Just the neutral observers who were like there for some other reason, and then they got their stuff messed up because all the protesters came in, and that was funny.
It was just great to just see it myself. It was fun. I had a great time. Thank you.
What up, Dave? Welcome to the chat.
What's up, Dave?
Welcome to the stream.
Yo. I mean, welcome to the chat.
Nobody gets notifications, Dave. All right, this is how YouTube works, okay? I've got like 15,000 subscribers, and probably 5% of them get notifications. Yeah. So, we just have to deal with it. We have to fight the uphill battle.
How many people like actually turn the notifications on is my question.
That's the other thing.
We just have to convince them to turn the notifications on.
The system is terrible. You have to subscribe and then hit the notification. Like, why would I subscribe if I don't want to see the videos?
Right. But you don't want to get bombarded with like.
It used to be like that. One click and then you get everything. But now.
Well, it's just a lot of people don't want to get bombarded with like videos or like notifications that people are going live all the time because people go.
True.
I mean, that's just me.
Some people just like subscribe to everything, so I can understand why that would be.
And if you turn your notifications on, you're gonna just get bombasted with all kinds of just. Bombasted, if that's even in the correct.
I think you were trying to do like a combination of bombarded and lambasted.
Yeah, I just like made up a term.
I like it. But bombastic is also a real word.
I know bombastic, but
Yeah, I think you made up a new word.
I think
there.
I did. Yeah.
I liked it.
This is what This is what like these live streams are for. We're just gonna make up new
Hey,
terms.
everyone else is just changing the definition of language these days. Why can't we make our own words?
Yeah. I mean, dictionaries changing definitions every day.
They are erasing definitions.
They're erasing and
There's,
changing, changing language. Like, why not? Why not?
That word's cooler than any word they've come up with. So we'll go with that.
So yeah, it was. I just wouldn't want that on my phone all the time. Like personally, it's just because I'm not addicted to my cell phone. So.
It's good.
I mean, I'm trying not to be, but you know, it's hard.
You're on your cell phone a lot.
Shut up.
I'm gonna rail you for that.
Yeah, you are. Hey, I'm trying.
What up, Life Row?
Trying to be better about it. I know it's an ongoing struggle.
You need accountability though.
I know.
All right.
Maybe I'll put the settings on my phone to only let me on it for a few hours a day, just like a child.
Like I think Joe Rogan does that with his kids.
Yeah, I think I might need to do that for myself as an adult.
You should.
I think we all should. I think everybody should. That's the biggest problem with everything in society is that we're on our phones and social media way too much.
Nobody has the ability to self-control.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, and they don't want to control it either because it feels good. That's the thing about social media. They programmed it so well that it makes you feel nice just to sit there and hit like all the time or look at comments and read comments or post your own crap and get likes for yourself. So it's an addicting thing. Yeah, it's a real thing.
And that's how society dies.
Yeah, by following the program. Saw a lot of it going on in the debate tonight, and I'm just...
What did you guys think about the debate? Did you guys watch it?
I mean, who watched it besides us? I mean, I know millions and millions of other people watched it besides us.
Yeah, it was...
It was pretty good. I mean, it was pretty civil in the beginning, but...
It was civil.
And then it, just kind of went off the rails towards the end there.
Well, I was telling you the whole time, I was paying attention to how the moderator was treating Trump versus Biden, and how anytime Trump wanted to respond on something, she would interrupt him and he would have to fight just to say 15 seconds worth of stuff.
Yeah.
But then Biden would respond to that and she wouldn't say anything.
Yeah, she wouldn't interrupt him, wouldn't stop him.
Let him go for 30 seconds or a minute.
Wasn't the rule supposed to be that when the other person's speaking, they're going to turn off the microphones?
That definitely didn't happen.
That did not happen. I thought that was supposed to be the rules. At least it seemed like it was happening for Trump, but not for Biden.
Yeah.
So.
No, actually, the only time I saw Trump try to say something once and his mic wasn't on, and I saw him happen to Biden once as well. So if we're going to count the amount of times that I saw it in action, I think it was equally applied.
Yeah.
But the way the moderator behaved definitely was not equally behaved.
Yeah, definitely not. But I mean, most of these moderators come from, mainstream media organizations. So of course they're not going to give Trump his fair swing at anything. Mm-hmm. They're going to let Biden off because he's old and he's the former vice president, so and he's a Democrat, so he deserves more time. But if you're a fucking Republican, then you get screwed. They don't want to hear what you have to say because it's racist or sexist or xenophobic or whatever ism or word they can come up with to justify cutting them off and not letting them have their fair share in the discussion. That's not.
Voyager wants to know your pick for the winner.
I mean, for me, it was...
Call the winner.
For me, it was Trump.
Drum roll.
For me, it was Trump.
You didn't let me do a drum roll.
Okay, do it. Trump.
Okay, why?
I don't know. He just seemed...
You gotta have a reason.
I just like him more. I'm sorry. I felt that...
You were saying that because the way Biden was looking at the camera and trying to be manipulative...
He was very manipulative.
He would look right at the camera and say... Do you want to die?
Yeah, just say stuff
like that.
Just say very dark and grim and morose things, looking directly into the camera. That just doesn't convince me that he's actually sincere about anything that he's doing. I don't know. It's just Trump doesn't do that when he speaks on the camera.
It was very polar in the kind of the overall message theme. Mm-hmm. Biden was very kind of dark and gloomy and you better vote for me or bad stuff's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Trump was positive.
He was
in terms of influencing people who may have watched this, because let's be honest, the only people that really matter at this situation are the undecideds.
Yeah.
Of which I don't know how many there are left, but
there's a lot of people.
When you're trying to persuade those people, do you want a message of positivity and hope after being locked down for 10 months? You hear Biden talking about wanting to keep everything locked down and
forcing businesses
masks,
to put up plexiglass.
Forcing businesses to put up plexiglass and, all this stuff that just you hear it and you're like, man, that just you've been suffering for so long. You want some relief. Trump, I think, was just more persuasive in the messaging.
Yeah, he was. Even though he's definitely very, I don't even know the correct adjective to use to describe him. He's very crass in the way he.
Yeah, dark winter, the terminology.
Yeah, Trump is very crass in the way that he speaks, but at least like when he does speak, he has like messages of hope and like, hey, look, we got this. Like, we're the greatest country in the world. Whereas Biden is just so negative and talking about dark winters and all this bullcrap. I'm like, I'm sorry, but I go where the positivity is, and right now I'm seeing it more from Trump than I am seeing it from Biden.
Okay.
That's just me. I saw nothing but like evil radiate off of Biden, like, and I just didn't like it.
Yeah, like you could see the aura around him.
Yeah, like, you know, my lesbianism, I could just see the aura of the people.
There's some kind of special vision that I don't have.
You don't have it because you're straight white male.
White male.
You're straight white male, so you just don't see it, and you're very logical and smart. So
yeah, I'm agreeing with most of what Chad is saying. They're saying that Trump was sharp, Trump was on his game, probably his best debate so far.
I mean, he did really well in the beginning about like not interrupting, about like not being.
He was professional.
He was very professional
throughout pretty much the whole debate. I mean, even when he interrupted and he was trying to get in with, you know, the debate moderator who was trying to cut him off, he would say, "Excuse me,
yeah, he would be like,
I need to say this,"
exactly.
and she would say, "Okay, 15 seconds," and he would pretty much get it in 15 seconds. And
yeah, he was pretty like.
He stopped himself a few times when he wanted to continue.
Oh, I know.
So
yeah, he stopped himself from saying a lot more though.
And that's what the left was looking for in this debate, because they were like, "Oh, Trump won't do it because they put they're going to mute the mics, and he's going to make himself look like an idiot because he's going to be yelling and the mics are going to be off." We didn't see any of that. Right. So none of that really fell through for them, which is what they were counting on. They were counting on him to look like an idiot and look like he was unhinged, and you know what I mean, in his counters to
Joe Biden was just a little bit more unhinged tonight. He fudged up a few times, saying certain things, and I'm just like, dude, really?
Yeah, do you guys know about the poor boys?
Yeah, the poor boys.
What are the poor boys? I haven't heard about the poor boys.
Is it some kind of new white supremacist
the poor
organization?
The poor boys who were told to stand by and stand ready or something like that, because he got the quote wrong and he got the name of the group wrong.
Yeah, he tried to like make Trump out to be like he's comparing himself to Abraham Lincoln.
Is he making fun of poor people?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
I mean,
and he misheard Trump's quote about saying that he was that did the most for blacks since Abraham Lincoln.
And then
Biden think that he heard Trump say he was Abraham Lincoln.
He did that several times throughout the debate, where he would like try to quote something that Trump said, but would like tweak it and manipulate it to like sound different. And it's like, that's not what he said. He's literally doing what the media has done to Trump for 4 years. Just take whatever Trump says out of context completely, and then just roll with it, even though it's not true at all.
You could just say it, and no one's gonna, the moderator's not gonna say anything.
Yeah, the moderator's not gonna like come back and defend Trump, because like who gives a crap about Trump? Like, he doesn't deserve to be president anyways, even though he does, because he's pretty good. Like, he's not that bad. I'm not saying he's perfect. I'm not saying he's like the cat's meow, but he's not that bad. He's not as bad as we thought he was going to be, That's my whole take on Trump. Like, we all thought he was going to, like, start World War III and, like... Well... I mean, maybe a civil war at this point.
I think most people agree with you, actually.
And look, we're not in World War III. We're almost in probably a civil war, more likely. But all the things that they predicted just haven't come true. So...
Well, here, Gallup released a poll that they did. I think it was 56% of the people that they polled say that they're better off now than they were 4 years ago.
It's true.
So we're still in the pandemic.
Oh, yeah. Maybe that'll affect
people are in the pandemic. 56% of them are saying that they're better off than they were 4 years ago. In the pandemic. Under
Trump, yeah. Because they're getting that extra Trump bucks from on top of their state unemployment. That's why.
Well, I don't know if it's a Trump bucks, but you think about all the small business owners. Is there a single small business owner in America that's going to vote for Biden after this debate?
Probably not.
Because he talked about putting more regulations in place for the COVID, like putting up plexiglass and stuff in your business, limiting capacity, increasing minimum wage. Yeah. All this is business destroying stuff. And we've already seen small businesses get destroyed across the country. I've seen restaurants around here close. I'm sure you guys have seen them close around, wherever you're at.
Yeah, wherever you guys are located, you've probably seen some effect.
Big companies like movie theater chains are going under.
Well, yeah, because now what...
And they want to put more regulation in. Yeah, that's
It's like if I was a business owner, I wouldn't want.
gas has been cheap for 4 years. There's Tardo McGee. What's up, Tardo?
Yeah, if I was a business owner, I wouldn't vote for Biden, because it's like, why am I going to vote for the guy
You're
that wants?
voting for your death.
Yeah, you're voting to like spend more money for no reason. Like, and
It's not like if you own a restaurant, your margins are small anyway. You're not making a lot of profit off of day-to-day operations.
yeah,
So now you're barely making it. You have to fire somebody because you have to pay your chefs 15, or your waiters 15 an hour or whatever it is. Then you
also have to on top of that
have
add
to buy massive sheets of plexiglass.
massive sheets of plexiglass and pay somebody to come and install them.
And then
because you
only
know
open
that there's
it's,
how much you want to bet like the plexiglass and like the plexiglass installation companies are gonna like skyrocket if Biden
they're really so the only way that
Biden gets elected.
I was saying when all the rioting started, I was like, who's the biggest glass manufacturer in the country?
They're gonna be making tons of money.
I need to invest in glass and now plexiglass, because there's going to be a lot of that going around. But what was I going to say?
Yeah.
About the small businesses and Trump.
If I was a small business, I would probably more likely vote for Trump or just vote third party, honestly. Like, at this point, it's like Biden's just digging his own grave with this bullcrap and this rhetoric that he's just spouting. I don't even think he understands what he's talking about, honestly.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. Is all these regulations, like, if you're just try to put yourself in the mind of like a leftist who like wears 2 masks, which I saw at the store the other day. I saw somebody with 2 masks, double layer masks.
I've seen the 2 masks before too.
Like, Jesus. So you're a double layer mask leftist.
Okay.
And you hear him talking about all this stuff about, plexiglass and minimum wage and less capacity on all these businesses. Does that override? Is that enough to cull your fear of just getting it or spreading it? Because that's really, I think, what they're playing off of. They're playing off of the general fear and anxiety of you getting it and then spreading it, or just having it in general.
Yeah, the Democrats are definitely like just feeding off the fear, and that's why I'm not about that. Like, one thing we don't need anymore is fear. We don't need more of it. Like, there's enough of it. There's enough of it to go around.
What up, Steve? Funny one. Welcome to the chat, guys.
Biden's meds wore off. Yeah, that's true. It kind of did.
He was looking pretty rough there towards the end.
Like, towards the end, he was just stuttering and just couldn't, like...
Those poor boys.
Those poor boys, yeah.
You know what? Now the Proud Boys are going to get shirts to say poor boys.
That's true. Oh my God, that was hilarious. The poor boys. And, oh my God, it was so bad. I don't feel bad for him, though, because... Like, he shouldn't be in the race at all, in my opinion. Like,
well, that's the whole deal. That's what I've been trying to say this whole time about this. Because people are asking me, what do you think's going to happen in the election? Who's going to win? And I just tell them Trump.
Yeah.
Like, I just say it like Trump.
Trump.
There's no hesitation. There's no, like, guessing.
Can't
I just
help.
Trump.
Like, it's just going to happen, you guys. Like,
and
just face up.
So most people go by the regular polls that you would see cited on like CNN or Fox News or whatever it is. All these polls that really probably the same ones we referenced back in 2016 when everything was completely wrong. And Hillary had like a 92% chance to win, and we all know what happened. But if you actually dig into it and you look at all the other indicators, there's a lot of reasons why it looks like Trump will win.
I mean, yeah.
But here's my argument. None of those even matter.
Yeah, that doesn't.
Because Biden's not even a real candidate.
He's not even.
You can say, oh well, if you look at the Google search model, Trump's going to win by that. If you look at the Liechtenstein model, Trump's going to win by that.
Right.
If you look at this, Trump's going to win. No, guys, Biden's not even a real candidate.
Yeah, Biden's not the real candidate.
He's not
in this
a real
race.
Candidate.
Like,
this isn't even a race.
Yeah,
And they're all stuck in this mindset of him being a real candidate. So again, they're like thinking past the sale, and then
most of them don't even really want him. They I've seen like more shirts and hats on the Biden side that say like settle for Biden, and I'm like, really? You're just gonna settle for somebody? Like, that's really sad.
Wow.
Like, if he's not making you like feel so strongly that you're like want to wear his merch and like be proud of that and just like say settle for Biden, I'm sorry, that's not the real candidate. That's not.
Yeah, well, did you see Obama gave a speech like yesterday or the day before in Pennsylvania, Philadelphia? He was campaigning with Biden in Pennsylvania.
Like, clips of it.
No. He was basically in an empty parking lot. We're talking about Obama here, the guy who drew like crowds of tens of thousands back in 2015 or whatever, or back when he was running 2009 or 2008. Empty parking lots with like 20 cars, and there's a fence with like 30 people at it. There's zero enthusiasm.
Yeah. People
to go off what you're saying with the shirts.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
There's no, that's what, yeah.
There's no excitement.
There's no excitement.
Enthusiasm.
Like people, I feel like are like begrudgingly like voting for him this time, or like just begrudgingly voting for him, period. Or it's just like, he's not Trump, so I'm going to vote for him instead. And it's like, that's not, I'm sorry, you might as well just like, that's pathetic. That's sad. Like, I don't dig that kind of energy. I like people, I like the passion. I like, people who can like stand up and be like, yeah, my candidate is the best one for this, this, and this. That's why I like Trump, because I can be like, yo, he's done this, this, and this. Like,
well, I keep telling you, voter enthusiasm is the most important factor.
And Trump is like got that enthusiasm.
You guys know that, right? Voter enthusiasm.
You saw that, like just in like that in our video, our Women's March video, that very first like clip. That dude had like what 12 Trump flags on the back of his car.
Did you guys see that truck in that video? That was the most insane truck I've ever seen in my life.
Like, yeah, like it was like literally like 12 like American flags, Trump flags.
He had custom mounts to put more flags on his truck. He had one of every type of possible Trump flag that you could get.
Yeah. Every type of Trump flag, like it was pretty great. Like that was pretty glorious, I will admit. Like you don't see that on the Biden side, like, at all.
There's no excitement or enthusiasm at
There's
all.
nothing there. I'm sorry. Like, it's just the energy's not there.
I've got money on Trump. I'll say that.
I got money on... Well, I don't have actual money, but...
I have actual money on Trump.
I know you do. That's great.
And I'll be sharing the results of that with you guys after the election, so you can see whose worldview actually is compatible with reality, okay? Because right now, you've got a lot of guys on the left that are saying, oh... Look at these polls. Biden's going to win, no problem.
Well, those
same people that said the same thing in 2016.
Yeah, they said the same thing about Hillary, and look at what happened there.
They lost, and they didn't adjust their worldview at all. They didn't adjust their strategy. They didn't rethink things. They just kept going. They doubled down. Russia collusion. They didn't stop for 1 second to think about why they were wrong. They just went straight into Russia collusion, and now here we are 4 years later. Catastrophe.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yeah, Olivia in the chat says, voting for Biden just because you don't like Trump is ludicrous. This is the fate of our country. That is very true. I agree.
It's not a strong motivator to get people out to the polls either.
It's just not. I mean, it should be, but it's not. Like, I know so many people that are like, I'm not voting. And I'm like, why not? Like, just even if you vote third party, just freaking do it. Like, come on. Like, just get out there and do it. Like, why not? Like, some people just don't want to be involved, period. They just think it's stupid. And I mean, it is kind of stupid, not gonna lie.
Kind of is.
Kind of is very stupid, but it's interesting. And
I don't feel like my vote counts when I vote, but I'm still doing it.
Yeah, me too.
I'm like, this is stupid, but here you go.
Yeah, this is stupid. I know this is gonna be like useless.
Someone's gonna throw this in a shredder or something.
Yeah, it's like, is it really gonna get counted? And if it gets counted, does it really count, especially in California? Like in states like
especially California,
North Dakota, or like, Nebraska, I can understand like the voter enthusiasm because it really does make a difference for those states. But for California, whatever. Nobody gives a crap over here.
What up, funny one? Noah, Olivia, welcome to the chat, guys. Welcome to the stream.
Welcome.
Late night weekly narrative. Hope you guys are having a nice night here. We're just doing a little debate recap.
Debate recap and just
lots of interesting news.
Yeah, talk about all the news that's not all, but some,
not all,
but some of the news that's happened.
The biggest of which, I think, is the laptop from hell.
Oh yeah, I mean.
Would you agree, or do you think there's something bigger?
I mean, there's so much.
Should we save that one for later?
I mean, it kind of ties into like the whole Joe Biden just.
It does. Well, it ties into the debate. We can segue from the debate. So, because Trump. Before the debate came out, before the debate was hosted, Trump released a statement basically saying, because again, there was speculation that he wasn't going to participate because he canceled the last one because of the mic thing. So all the leftists were like, oh, he's going to cancel again. But he came out with a statement that said, we're going to participate and we're happy to talk about foreign policy because we want to ask Joe Biden about China and Hunter and all these dealings that he's got going on because of this emails.
Yeah, now we have proof of what like we've been talking about for months that you've been saying is not true.
Yes, the laptop from hell.
And even
that nobody else wants to talk about.
And Trump talked about it in the debate, and then Biden had the nerve to say that it's not true. But Joe, It is.
Oh, yeah.
The
No.
FBI and the DOJ have said that
No,
it's real.
This is how it works. I say that you took money from the mayor's wife in Moscow, and then you just say, it's not true. It's been discredited. And then that's it. And then we move on to the next question.
Yeah. I mean,
let's practice. All right. You took $3.5 million from the mayor's wife in Moscow. Your family profited directly from Russia.
it's not true. It's been discredited.
Oh, okay. All right. Well.
Yeah.
all right.
Just because you said it's discredited.
That's how the media treats it.
That is.
They're like, oh, okay. I guess nothing to see here.
And then people trust the media, which is even more like just insane to me. I'm like, how do you trust all of these things instead of like just like following the trail or going down the rabbit hole, as like a lot of people like to say.
For people that aren't aware of what we're talking about, a laptop was recently collected from a technician, an IT technician, was apparently dropped off by Hunter Biden or a member of his staff several years ago. It got into the hands of Rudy Giuliani, who turned it in to the FBI because there's a lot of information on that laptop with emails, communication records of Hunter Biden reportedly communicating with people in foreign countries, setting up meetings in favor of foreign nationals, trying to broker deals for the big guy, the code word. They use code words in these emails.
Big guy.
The big guy,
The head
which you may have
honcho.
heard Trump refer to in the debate, was Biden.
Call them the big.
O is apparently Obama. There's now I'm looking at some stuff that has Obama implicated.
Obama's got so much stuff on him too.
Kamala is implicated because she was close friends with Hunter and one of his potential business partners, and she could have been a recipient of some of that money as well. They're looking at now.
I mean, good.
A lot of people are implicated in this, so they're like still looking through it, and the FBI and the DOJ came out and they looked at it and they said that we have no reason to think that this is Russian disinformation, because that was the initial response from everyone in the media. It wasn't, hey, let's look at this from an objective perspective and try to determine if there's anything interesting here.
Yeah.
They just said, no, Russian disinformation. Yeah, because they defaulted to their NPC programming of anything that is against my candidate or pro-Trump is Russian disinformation.
Yeah. It's all
So
Russia. If it's
that was the default response.
It's
And then the FBI and DOJ came back
and they're
and
like,
said,
no, it's a.
there's no evidence that this is a
yeah.
Russian collusion.
This
And
isn't
then
2016.
on top of that, some guy came out today who was a recipient of some of those emails. You can see his name in those email chains. The guy who received those emails came out and said they were legitimate, and he received those, and that he worked with Hunter on those deals, and he knows that they were brokering deals with foreign agents.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, all Biden can say is, well, you have bank accounts in China, so you're getting money from them just because you have a bank account with them.
Yeah. Scott Adams said it best. I think he tweeted earlier today. He said, game over.
It is game over. I mean, if anybody at this point, if they haven't looked into the laptop situation with Hunter Biden and the implications with Joe Biden, not the entire Democratic Party, but like the main head honchos of the Democratic Party right now. I'm sorry, but you're just a fool. Like, you're just blind. Like, you put the blinders up and you don't want to see anything that Biden is doing, has done, like what he's trying to do, what the whole entire Democratic Party is doing, because you just hate Trump so badly because he's trying to like tell you the truth.
Yeah.
And it's sad. Like, I'm sorry, but like I appreciate when people tell me the truth. Like early in the stream when you told me you say like too much, I was like, okay, I'm working on it. And have I said like too much? I don't think so. I mean, I said it a few times, but
You're good now.
I'm doing good now.
Yeah.
Maybe I just need to drink a little less on the stream.
That might have something to do with
I was
it.
gonna say, yeah, I'm only having one.
The
or
ratio
two.
of alcohol to likes is probably pretty high.
Yeah, pretty high. I mean, that's just the Cali girl in me too.
But
So-
this goes directly back to what I was saying. Biden's not a real candidate.
He's not.
But they had to push him through.
Because he's the establishment.
They had to push him through because he was establishment candidate, but they did not consider all of the secondary effects of what was going to happen. They didn't say, it wasn't a very pre-planned thing where they were like, okay, we've gone through Biden's records. We know he's clean. We know there's nothing out there they can find on him. Send him in.
They
Send him
didn't,
in.
they didn't do a good enough job.
They didn't do any of that because it was like an emergency situation where the primaries for the Democratic candidate were so terrible. Nobody was standing out. They had to send somebody in, and this is the inevitable result of that, is that you're going to get some dirt on the guy.
Which
because
I find depressing because there are some people in the Democratic Party that like aren't as crazy. I mean, I don't want Bernie Sanders or nothing, but like they could have nominated Tulsi Gabbard and I would have been like, cool, like this will be fun. But they didn't. They picked Joe Biden. They picked that.
I took a dump on What up, CT? They took a dump on Sanders. They took a dump on...
I'm surprised Sanders didn't make it this time. But he made a lot of money out of conceding to Hillary last time, so why not do it again?
Maybe that's just his business model.
He's I'm
going to be the front runner, and then I'm going to endorse a candidate and take a paycheck.
And take a paycheck and buy myself another mansion. That's what he did. That's what he did in 2016. He freaking bought himself a mansion in, like, I think New York, like upstate New York. Like, or was it... No, he bought himself a brownstone in New York City, so that way he can
What's a brownstone?
A brownstone is like one of those like old ass buildings in New York City where it's like made of brick, and they're like like little houses that are made of brick, like all right next to each other.
I was gonna say it sounds like a petrified dinosaur feces or something.
I mean, it probably is, but that's
brownstone.
A brownstone. I mean, that's
dude. Who would? I mean, I would have loved to see like Tulsi and maybe even Buttigieg.
If Buttigieg had made it, like that.
Better than Kamala.
Oh my God.
Dude, Kamala, come on.
Come on, like, come on, man. Come on, man.
Kamala, come
on.
Oh,
Joe Biden said, come on, man. Too much.
Oh, it was like 10
He said it so much. There was a couple times when I called it, right?
Yeah, he did. Well, let's be honest. It's not that hard to call.
It's not that hard to call, but he definitely said, come on, man. Or he said, come on, at the end of most of his sentences. It was pretty great.
Addicted says you're a fun drunk.
I try to be, but you know what? I'll try to say like a little less. I'm working on it, even in like my normal speak with people. So
Biden's a Trojan horse. Exactly.
He is a total Trojan horse. He's a Trojan horse for the communists, and I'm over it. 14
times? That sounds about right. I wouldn't doubt that count.
Wait, that's better than like the 200 times I did in the last stream. So
no. I think he's saying that he said come on 14 times.
Oh, he said come on? Oh, okay.
I don't think he counted the amount of times you said like.
I mean, he might have, because Dave. I know Dave's obsessed with both of us.
No, it was Bob. Bob left a comment on the last video. Where's Bob, by the way? Has anybody seen Bob? Bob, where are you at, man? Come on.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Yeah. So this laptop thing. The interesting thing, if you guys are following this on Twitter, the New York Post was the one that broke this story. Okay. Mm-hmm. New York Post had this great expose on all these emails. They had pictures, sources, everything directly there. And they laid it all out for you. Great story. You can read all what's going on. And then what did Twitter do?
Censored it.
They
banned it.
They shut down New York Post's account. Mm-hmm. And
censorship.
Because their initial excuse was it was hacked. It was hacked information. Which I don't know about you guys. I'm a pretty elite hacker. Yeah. But pressing the power button on a laptop, I don't consider that a hack.
It's not a hack.
So I don't know what their policy on.
Well, as we talked about in the last stream, like whenever they claim it was a hack, it's really that's just code for like.
Anytime they say hack, it's somebody effed up.
Yeah, somebody effed up, gave out the password, and then decided to like sell information to the media.
Or you just bring a laptop to a repair shop that has apparently, potentially, allegedly, quotes everything. Child porn, emails with deals between the vice president of the United States and foreign powers.
Yep, that we shouldn't be doing dealings with.
Everything that's really the definition of the word collusion that we were so afraid of for 4 years is on here, and you just like drop it off at Geek Squad,
and then
and you leave it there.
When the media decides to like say something about it, the big tech companies have the nerve to like censor it and say like it's not true, when it's like, but it is. It is true. Like
no stories about tax returns that are illegally obtained from Trump. Love it. Spread it all over Twitter. We're gonna make that trend for the first time it posts. It's gonna be all over everywhere. Spread it all around. We don't care. We love it.
Yeah.
This story that goes for Trump, shut it down immediately. Ban the entire account. Yeah. Shut down New York Post.
Yeah.
I think their account is still banned on Facebook. I don't know what the deal is, but
didn't Trump's press secretary get banned from Twitter as well?
Everyone who shared that story got banned.
Yeah.
Suspended.
It's the same thing that happened with like hydroxychloroquine when people were talking about it.
Mm-hmm. I think
they get banned, they get censored.
One of their press guys just got banned right before the debate today. I don't even know if it was for the same thing, but I mean they're getting a little out of hand with that.
Well, I mean it just goes like to me, this is like this should be a wake up call for people who haven't been woken up already to like big tech censorship, and just the fact that the big tech companies are in on it. Like they want they want a certain party to win because of whatever kind of interests are backing them. So if you're
we all knew that. But now it's like it's visible.
It's so visible, but people still want to be blind to it. It's like that's what's baffling to me. It's like, how are you still blind?
Even journalist outlets who are supposed to be trying to uncover the truth and share and spread the truth with us, like the NPR.
Oh my God, yeah.
Did you guys see what the NPR posted on Twitter? This is absolutely insane. The NPR posted, it was like NPR editorial something. They posted saying, well, you may have been wondering why we haven't shared any stories about Hunter Biden
on NPR.
Yeah, and well, we just want to let you know that we don't want to share stories that are distractions, and they literally just came out and said that they don't want to cover it because it's not anti-Trump. It doesn't fit their narrative.
If it's not anti-Trump, then
they said it in plain English.
You don't belong, as you're not newsworthy if you don't hate Trump.
We're choosing not to cover this story because we think it's not relevant.
Right.
Unbelievable.
It's unbelievable, and that's supposed to be like federally funded, like, and
yeah. Hashtag defund NPR.
I think we should. I mean, give them a little less money, teach them a lesson there.
Can you really say you're asking the public interest, if the public good, if you're choosing like to cover particular stories based on their political affiliation and who they may hurt?
And NPR is supposed to be like, I feel like nonpartisan, like, or just bipartisan, or just like report news, period, whether it's good or bad. But
just tell me news in a monotone soy boy voice. That's all I want to hear as I'm driving to work.
NPR.
Yeah, that's all I want to hear.
I just want to hear that NPR, just like KQCA. Like you're supposed to be non-biased. You're supposed to be like, there has to be news sources that are non-biased. Like, there has to be, but unfortunately, they all have some kind of slant.
Yeah.
I don't follow any of them. I'm like, sorry, they're all slanted.
But if let's say you're for Biden, why can't you just share the story and just lay out the facts? Say there's emails that came through, they've been uncorroborated, we don't know if they're real, but they exist, and the FBI is looking into them. At least make an article that says that.
Yeah. Government-funded crap. You're so right, Addicted to Drums. It is government-funded crap. Like, it just goes to show anything that's funded by the government is like literal crap.
It's true.
It really is. Even the public radio. Like, look at freaking, like, what is it? PBS. PBS is crap too. Like, PBS has gone full leftist. It's like literally they've invaded all forms of everything now, and I'm tired of it. Like, get rid of them. Not get rid of them, but just scale back their money, and maybe they'll learn, and like tell them the reason why. Be like, we're gonna give
crack the whip a little bit.
We're gonna give you less money because you're not being an unbiased source of news for people like you should. And I guarantee you, they would change their act and be like, yo, okay, maybe we can hate on Trump a little less and maybe report some good news instead of nothing but just negativity and fear and just hate.
It's fantasy world. Fantasy world.
It's so fantasy. Like,
Dave says
that's why we're here.
That's right.
Give us the funding.
Give us the funding, and we'll share the truth with you guys. Dave says first, New York Post banned for hacked info, but put forward Giuliani potential revenge porn allowed. Did you see that? Giuliani, they're like spreading this fake story about Giuliani getting caught in a camera with his hands on his pants. Totally allow that to spread all over the internet.
That was like. That also happened to like a CNN analyst or something. Like, he was caught.
Tubin.
Yeah.
Old Tubin.
Yeah, he got caught whacking it on a fucking Zoom call too. So like,
well, Giuliani wasn't actually. It was if they were filming the frickin' Kazakhstan guy. What's his name?
Sacha Baron Cohen.
Sacha Baron Cohen's new movie, and they were filming that. So the whole point is to catch him in a skit.
It's comedy. Oh my God, they really are. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That is.
Tardo McGee says that's why their repair shop had 5 stars on Yelp.
Right.
Maybe that was the repair shop that all like the government people took their shady stuff to.
Right.
And there was like an understanding that mafia people would bring their laptops in.
Right. Yeah.
And government, like Hillary Clinton brought her servers in there.
It's like, we are okay with doing like illegal tune-ups on your kiddie porn
under the table,
as long as it's like cash and under the table, and like, you know, you're okay if it's like something so like they just made a mistake with all that. But I definitely think that
wouldn't that be funny though? That was like a underground tech repair shop where like FBI takes their phones and get wiped and stuff like that when they don't want to get.
Wasn't there another story in the news about like Facebook and how they're like some of the biggest one of the main ways that people who have like kiddie porn are like sending it to each other. So Borat,
thank you guys.
I know Borat is, that movie is gross. Like, I'm not a big fan of Sacha Baron Cohen, not gonna lie. But anyways, the whole Facebook thing was pretty crazy too. I mean, and now they're trying to like encrypt the messages, which will make it easier for the kiddie porn people to like send their crap up to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah, Life Roll says the mind control keywords are blame Russia means accept, and then conspiracy theory equals ignore.
It's true. Biden, and that's why I've said like this whole debate, I felt like Biden was just putting out those mind control trigger words to get people to think a certain way. And I'm not about it. Like, it's stupid. Like, it's such a waste of energy. Like I said, the people who are supporting him has signs and hats and t-shirts that say settle for Biden. Because that's the kind of energy they're putting towards the candidate. Yeah. Whereas like with Trump, you see nothing but love.
Steve says Kamala had a 6-person rally. Did you see the picture of that? It was so pathetic. It was really bad. It was embarrassing. Dave
with the super chat.
$5 super chat.
Thank you, Dave.
Thanks, Dave. We're here for you, man.
I know.
You don't got to pay us, but we do appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate any kind of super chat. You know, we appreciate everybody that's contributing to the conversation tonight as well.
We're here to bring some order to the universe.
Here to just spread truth and just fun and just happiness, like as much as we can.
Fun, truth, and alcohol every now and then.
Alcohol every now and then. I mean, he's got the vodka. I've got the light shit because I'm light and I can't handle much else. Whereas, you know, he's a real man and can handle a little bit of the hard liquor, just straight little ice.
Olivia says, do you guys cover that in these discussions? All the pedophilia and political spiderwebs. Well, we cover the general news about it, but
there's only so much
about it too much, then
there's only so much that we can talk
attention that we don't want.
Yeah,
let's just say that.
If you say the P word too much,
you have to be politically.
Especially on a channel or a platform like YouTube.
You have to be strategic.
You do. You have to be clever
about what you want to talk about.
You have to be super clever about what you say, especially on YouTube, because we don't want the overlords to come after us.
Addicted to Drums with a $10 super chat.
Heck yeah.
Shout out.
Thank
you.
you.
And Olivia with the $5 super chat. Man, the late night streams are popping off. You guys are night owls too, like us, or what?
I mean, probably, yeah. Look at, we got 20 million people in the channel right now.
Later life. 20 million people. 20? The arena's overflowing. The people outside.
We got the going on.
The wave is slowly making its way across.
We got the wave going. It's great. This is a good time. I love it.
Well, I mean, you got to have fun. You have to realize that we're, Michael M just joined, and he wants to know who we thought won the debate. I'll sum it up in a nutshell. For me, I think Trump won because the messaging that he gave was positive, whereas Biden's was negative, doom and gloom. And people don't want doom and gloom right now, especially if you're a small business owner, an individual who's been affected by this personally. So that's my summary.
That's me. That's me as well. I'm on the same train as you. I thought Trump did a great job of... He did much better in this one than he did in the last debate. So it's big improvement. And he was just trying to, get the message out there. Look, I'm working on helping you guys and getting you guys squared away. And if you vote for this guy, he's all doom and gloom and just negativity. And, why do you want that? Why do you want to elect somebody that, doesn't believe America can, be the best country in the world, even when we have a super spreader virus?
You know what was awesome is he released that interview of him with whoever it was with 60 Minutes earlier today, because he said that he got unfair treatment in this interview. Did you see this? He released the interview before 60 Minutes released it because he said he got treated unfairly. I think it was the first question that she asked him was, can you describe who it is that your voter base, describe your voter base. He answered it in the best possible way. He said, people that love America.
Right.
And that's it.
That's it, yeah.
He's running for people that love America. If you hate America, or you think it has a racist past and it's inescapable evil, then you can vote for Biden.
Colonial empire that just sucks all the life off the planet.
Between that interview and that answer, and then the debate tonight, I think he's on fire. He's ending it on a killer messaging. We got Dave MCL with another $20 super chat.
Y'all are doing us good tonight.
You guys are on fire. And he says, "You shall not pass." Oh, we did that really good, and that was pretty good.
I mean, I'm a Lord of the Rings fan. Are you?
Yeah, of course.
Of course. I mean, we're both nerds up in here. At least I am.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I know you're a nerd too, but I don't know.
Mostly sci-fi nerd, but
I like sci-fi too. I'm not as much of a sci-fi as you. You definitely are into more sci-fi than me, but I still have my little bits.
Olivia Joy with a $25 donation again.
I know. She's doing it so good tonight.
Killing it. Thank you so much, guys, for these super chats. We really appreciate it.
Love it.
We know we come on here to provide you guys with value. And
entertainment and like just raw, just
it's capitalism at its finest, you know.
And just raw beautifulness, like
that too.
Yeah, I mean we're both pretty good to look at.
Yeah, you could go watch some leftist streamers, but they're all overweight and greasy. You don't want to see that.
Yeah, you don't want to watch too much Vosh and give that loser some money.
Nobody wants to look at that.
I mean, I don't I don't know anybody that like looks at that dude and is like, yes, totally.
Okay, we talked about the debate. We got the laptop from hell, which is going to be, I mean, this is
just breaking, kind of.
This is literally breaking like catastrophic levels right now, category 5 hurricane, because the guy who got these emails just came out before the debate and did a press conference. So we're at critical mass with this story. So it's only going to get better from here. So keep an eye out on that.
Yeah,
watch that one.
If you're not paying attention, you need to pay attention now, because we're like 2 weeks away from the election, and one of the guys that's running has actually done good for the country, and one guy
talk about an October surprise. Holy smokes!
One guy's doing good for the country, and one guy is like has proven to not do good for the country. So which one do you really want to lead us for the next 4 more years? Because it's really only 4 more years, and then Trump's out, and we can get somebody else. Find somebody better on the Democratic Party if you really think the Democrats are worthy. But unfortunately, like, they've been hijacked. They've been
good word.
They've been so hijacked.
Infected.
They have been infected. I like to say hijacked because they really have. They've been taken over by a lot of crazy people.
Noah asks if I read any sci-fi novels. I read Warhammer 40K books.
Yeah, he's a Warhammer nut, and I don't participate, but I know about it. And he's shown me some videos and stuff from the.
I'll get her into it.
I've seen some of the videos that like fans post on their on YouTube and stuff, and some of them are really freaking cool.
Oh yeah.
Like I think all of that's cool. Like my brother plays D&D. I love Star Trek, and I also love Star Wars. And to Voyager Country's question, I like both, but I like Star Trek more personally.
Star Wars here.
You like Star Wars more?
I think so. Yeah.
Just
because I haven't really watched much Star Trek, so it's not really a fair question for me to answer.
Yeah, I mean.
And only the old Star Wars. The new ones are like.
Yeah, the new ones are kind of trash.
I love the universe, but the stories are pretty awful.
Yeah.
And the new ones, that's all.
And like I've read some like Star Trek books as well. Some of them are pretty good, but there's so many of them, dude. Like you go to the bookstore and you look at the sci-fi section and you look at Star Trek and Star Wars section, and you're just like, holy crap.
Yeah, I can only
Didn't know there was this much lore. Like, holy crap.
Yeah.
Just like with Warhammer and just pretty much every sci-fi or fantasy universe, it's just gigantic, and it just keeps growing, and I love it.
Stalking Horse says Biden's responses to Ukraine and China corruption were weak. They were incredibly weak.
They were, yeah.
And if it was Trump giving those answers, then he would get roasted in the media for those answers.
Totally.
But we know that he's not going to get roasted for those because he gets a pass.
Yeah, he gets
a handicap.
Yeah, he gets a handicap because he's a Democrat, and the Democrats are trash, and even the media knows it.
Dave wants to know a question for the colonization people. If they're against colonization, then what are they doing here? They are colonizing the country.
I mean...
I have a question for the socialists and the communists. The question that I have that have yet to be answered is, why don't you just move to a country that closely resembles the model that you like? Why do you want to change our country?
Well, because it costs too much money to immigrate legally somewhere. I mean, I've asked people that. I'm like, so if you're so unhappy with what America has to offer and you want socialism, why don't you go to it?
You have freedom of movement.
Yeah, you have freedom of movement.
And if you believe that there's no borders, then just go.
Yeah, go immigrate legally to Canada, because Canada, that's the closest thing to socialism in, northern, what's it called? North America that you can get. And why don't you just immigrate there? Yeah. Like, if it's so, if you believe in it, because it's actually really hard to become a Canadian citizen. Who would have guessed? Oh, it looks like the Canadians even have standards too.
Weird. Noah wants to know if we watched the ACB hearing. We did not.
I did not watch that, but I have watched some of her hearings. But didn't she get confirmed today, or was it yesterday?
No, there was a hearing today. And then she's going to be confirmed, or the vote's going to go through on the 26th, I believe. So 4 days from now.
She should get confirmed because she's awesome.
I believe that's Hillary Clinton's birthday. Which is awesome.
Wait, I thought her... No, you're probably right. You're smarter about this than me.
I could be wrong.
I mean, you could be wrong. We're probably we're not going to say we're right all the time. We're not like most media organizations that say that they're right all the time. We're over here just like, you know what? We're right sometimes.
We're here to think. We're not here to tell you what to think.
And I mean, we could just Google it really quick and double check, but I mean, why? Like everybody else lies, why not us?
Mm. Yeah, if we ever get caught in a lie, we could just say that.
Yeah, I mean, we're here to be like, we were wrong, you know, and we're not too proud to say that we were wrong, and we don't like, you know, we'll admit it right away. Be like, yeah, I was wrong.
Yep, totally. The one thing that they hate more than anything is either just admitting that you're wrong. Like if you try to make a big deal out of it and try to, you know, walk around it and sneak through it, then that's what they want.
Yeah.
And if you just say, oh yeah, I was wrong.
Yeah,
and then
I was misinformed. But you're supposed to get mad.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to tell me that I'm an idiot and that like you want to beat me up. And it's like, no, I'm good. Thank you for letting me know I was incorrect. I appreciate it. You know.
Nothing makes them angrier.
Oh yeah.
No, actually that's not true. The only thing that makes them angrier is when you don't react emotionally in the first place.
Oh yeah, that's true. They want like at the Women's March, all the people were flipping off the Trumpers.
It's the best form of trolling. It's just not getting emotional.
Yeah, just be complacent.
Don't react.
Just be like, thank you. Have a nice day.
That's why when I started my channel and I do these interviews, I wanted to go out with the mindset of trolling them, but not as obviously as Fleckus does.
Oh, yeah.
So my style is literally that. I just ask questions and I never get emotional about the responses. Yeah. And it throws them off every time.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah. And it was great to see it in person, personally. Yeah. It was so great to, like, just... Because I've watched your videos before I joined your channel. And that's one reason I liked you is because, like, you were very just, like, okay. And then, like, you just have, like, your quick response. And then, like, you just film and get them on mic just melting down.
Blow right through it.
Just melting down. Just to watch the meltdowns happen, like, in front of me was pretty great.
It's awesome.
Or just watch them just kind of, like, look at you and go, like, what?
I got that a few times.
Yeah, that one chick in the friggin' suffragette gear. That was like.
So Donald Trump appointing a woman Supreme Court justice doesn't do anything for you? No, I think this interview's over.
This interview's over. Oh my god! And you know what's so? I told him this before the stream. As the person that was like filming it, they had like loud music going, so I couldn't hear their conversation.
The speaker was like right here.
Yeah, the speaker was like right behind me, so I couldn't hear their conversation. I was just filming and like looking and watching like her body language and his body language. And as soon as he like mentioned anything about Trump appointing a woman, her body language just totally shifted, and I knew that the interview was over. I was like, oh, she's not. That was a big no-no. Don't you dare talk about Trump at the Women's March.
Yeah.
Oh my God, how dare you ask questions?
Olivia wants to know what we think about aliens.
I mean, I believe they're real.
I like it. I like anything by what's his face? I'm forgetting the director. Ridley Scott.
Oh yeah, Ridley Scott's
legendary.
Cool. He's cool. But I do believe real aliens are real. But
Prometheus was kind of lame. I think she's talking about the movie, but
I mean, she might be, but maybe just actual aliens. But Prometheus was kind of.
Prometheus was, but yeah. And aside from that, they were good.
I remember going on the Alien ride in Universal Studios in Hollywood.
Was that any good?
It scared the crap out of me as a kid.
Oh yeah.
I would probably go on it as an adult and be like, yeah, this is cool. Well, it's not even a ride.
Get blasted.
It's not even a ride. Really what it is, it's like you sit in a chair and they put like the things over you, and then it's just like an experience that happens around you. You don't like move. It's like just they
lock you in so you don't get cut in half by the robotics.
Yeah, you don't like up and bolt in the middle of it, because like they do have like smoke machines going, and they got like the lasers and the lights to like kind of scare you a little bit, and then they have like the animatronic aliens like popping out of like holes in the ceiling and shit, but
too bad you'll probably never be able to go to that for another year.
I mean, this wasn't the one in Florida, and I hear Florida's open. So
yeah, Florida's open.
Yeah, Disney
California,
World.
they just released guidelines on theme parks. They probably aren't even going to be open. Like Disneyland's not going to be open until next summer.
That's bullcrap. I love Disneyland.
It's insane.
Don't deprive me of my Disneyland.
Insane.
Like, I'm sorry, but like that's part of the beauty of going to Disneyland is like being smushed with a bunch of people. Like it's part of the appeal.
Yeah, standing in line for 3 hours.
Well, I mean,
for a 2-minute ride.
nowadays at Disneyland they make it easy to skip the lines.
Well,
like It's oh my god. I've learned. Well, I went last year with my family, and I was kind of by myself because all my other family members like brought their partners and brought their kids and stuff. So I was like by myself. So I went on the single rider line for everything.
Nice.
And I got on just about everything in like under 10 minutes.
That's pretty good. It's a good strategy.
Everything. I wouldn't suggest this if you have like a big herd of people, but if it's like just one or two, it's like 2 people or 3 people or 4 people in a group. If you go in the single rider line, you're probably going to get on pretty quickly. You might not get on all together, but you at least will get on the ride pretty quick. And if you want to like do the whole line experience at Disneyland with your group of people, do it. Like it's fine. I won't knock you.
You were mentioning Barely Informed with Elad.
Oh yeah, I love Elad. He's cool, man.
Yeah, I watched.
He's got some good content, and he tries to be
He's
like
good.
you,
He's
where
good.
he's just like, you know, asking questions, and he's trying to be like non-biased and be like, what do you think of Trump? And these people just literally melt down.
Yeah, it doesn't take much to melt them down.
They just melt like fondue. Like you just see it. You just see their like body language just totally melt, and they're like, they look at him and they're like, oh my god, this dude that's like clearly like ethnic of some kind, talking about Trump in a positive way
With a crazy accent.
with a little like he's got like that New Yorkian accent and a little bit of that Hebrew in his voice too, and they're just like oh my god. That's why
Their brain doesn't work.
their brain cannot compute. Like can't you defy programming? How dare you? How dare you? How dare you?
Exactly.
Like it's quite sad. I'm sorry, but like I just can't take it.
Okay, moving on to the next big news of the night.
Let's move on.
You guys may or may not have seen it. I know you. Well, we literally, as we were filming this, getting set up, saw a march go by the window.
Oh yeah.
And
Well,
it was just a bunch of Antifa retards. And
you know what's hilarious? Because before, like when we're just chilling and we're hanging out, I'll like look out the window and see what's going on walking down the street because there's like homeless people and stuff. And I was like, he asked me, he's like, anything going on? And I was like, no, not yet. But I feel like there's something happening. There's something brewing.
Too quiet.
It's too quiet. And literally
Sure enough.
10 minutes later, the radical Marxist leftist BLM people like have a march right by the windows. Like, look. I saw the police like on their motorcycles driving by, herding them like cattle down the street. It was quite. I was like, dang.
And I have to assume that it's because of this big news, guys. George Floyd, the officer who was charged with third-degree murder and several other charges. The third-degree murder charges against Derek Chauvin were dropped by the judge in the case today.
Yeah.
Which I think I called on stream.
I think we both called it
3 streams ago or something like that.
They dropped the third-degree murder charges, but they're still going for
They're
like.
still involuntary manslaughter.
They're still going for other charges against him, just not the third-degree murder.
Yep.
And they're out there mad about that. Like he's not getting charged with third-degree murder, but they don't even understand like what third-degree murder means.
No. They just think that because he's not getting charged with third-degree murder that he's innocent.
But he still like even if like he gets
What up, Will? We love you too, buddy. Thanks,
even
man.
if he gets like the involuntary manslaughter charge, that's still a lot of time in jail, in prison, and as a cop,
It's still going to be bad.
it's still gonna be
It's
bad.
not like he's going to get off.
It's that's what I was talking about like a couple streams ago when we talked about this initially. I was like, why aren't they going for like charges that like can actually hold up and like the jury would agree on that like yes he deserves this. Instead they want to go for this like outlandish, just like off the cuff, like off the wall charge of third degree murder, and it's like, dude, like he didn't intentionally mean to kill him. He put the knee on the neck for too long, but there's a lot of other things going on that kind of not warranted for him to do that, but I can see like why he would do like try to like lay him down and like keep him down for a few minutes. But yeah, it was too long. Everybody's in agreement on that. But third degree murder is a stretch. It's too much of a stretch.
I'm not a knee apologist or anything, but it is in the training manual. It shows it in the pictures.
I know
it says
it does.
Use
like,
it. It's an approved method.
Is in the in their police
But
department.
the problem was that the AG in the state upped the charges from second degree murder.
He did,
because of calls for social justice from these BLM, Antifa, whoever it was that was crying. And what do you know? If you're going to raise it to a charge that's harder to prove, it's going to be harder to prove.
Yeah.
And now look at what happens.
I agree. People are they literally pushed the attorney general to put these charges on
And he wanted to make it a political statement.
Yeah, he did.
By saying, "Oh, look at me, I'm so awesome.
Look at me, I'm so strong
I care
and
about
awesome.
black lives.
I care
I'm
about."
gonna up this to 3rd degree.
Even though it's like not a 3rd-degree murder. Like if you look up what a 3rd-degree murder is, and you saw that video, like, and you saw the whole like picture of what happened to George Floyd, I think you can generally have that consensus of like, this is not like premeditated. It wasn't racially motivated. It was just a lot of like crap that happened all at once. And unfortunately, like, George Floyd lost his life. And that officer does need to be held accountable, because that wasn't okay. But I don't think that he's solely responsible for George Floyd's death.
These people who are following this and rioting and out there in the streets smashing it, their brains aren't capable of comprehending anything more than a single factor problem. They can't fit more than one variable in their brain at a time.
Yeah, of course not.
So you have the variable of the officer, 1, 2, and 3, what each one of those were doing.
Yep.
What happened to George Floyd, what he did to himself in the potential drugs that he ingested, the drugs that he was on. I mean, when I say ingested, I mean there was suspicion that he actually ingested drugs at the beginning of the stop.
Yep.
Which could have contributed to his heart failure, which the coroner said was a big factor.
He had like a lethal amount of fentanyl in his system.
3 times lethal.
Yeah.
He had like 11 nanograms.
And before they could even put him in the police vehicle, they were just trying to put handcuffs on him and get him in the vehicle. He was saying he couldn't breathe. And fentanyl is known to like cause shortness of breath. And when they tried to put him in the police vehicle, he was saying, "I can't breathe. I'm claustrophobic. Get me out of here." And they pulled him out and laid him on the ground like he requested it.
He requested to be put on the ground. So
Derek Chauvin shouldn't have put his knee on the neck. I agree with that. But the leftists aren't seeing the like 10-minute video of the arrest before the knee on the neck happened.
No, when that video came out,
they didn't want to.
It was complete silence across the board, because everybody knew at that point. They're like, "Oh."
Yeah, they're like, "Oh crap, he was high out of his mind." Like,
that's fine.
He was hella high.
But that's fine though, because this is how the left operates. Something happens, and whether it's fake or not, it doesn't matter. The chain of events still persists from that initial reaction.
Right.
Just like the Russia collusion thing, never actually happened, but they think it did, and they're persisting off of the momentum of just the pure belief in and of itself.
You tell a lie enough times.
That's it. You tell a lie enough times, and
it becomes the truth.
And that's exactly what's going on here. Yeah. So. And now nobody's surprised the 3rd-degree murder charge was dropped.
You're right, Olivia. She said such a tragedy regardless of who was responsible. It is a tragedy. Nobody's denying that what happened to him was like in any way just. Like, I wanted him to have his night in his day in court and have his time in court to like plead his innocence or his guilt. But unfortunately, like, he didn't think in the long term about it enough to like not swallow the drugs that he had on him. And that's what he did.
On top of all of that, you have to also believe, or this is what they believe, the leftists, they think that the knee on the neck and all that was specifically because he was black.
Yeah.
Like, race is somehow a factor in this.
Yeah.
When there's zero evidence of that.
Yeah, they want to claim it's a hate crime and that that officer targeted him because he's black. And it's like, no, the officer knew who he was. They had a call that there was like something illegal happening, and the officer was just responding to it. And yeah, the officer, like, I will say, in the beginning of that body cam footage, when at the initial encounter, Derek Chauvin did like tap on George Floyd's glass of his car with his gun out. I don't agree that he should have had his gun out from the start. Like, that was kind of overkill. But but the officer knew who he was, knew what his rap sheet was. He knew that he had like the tendency to be a little violent when it comes to getting arrested. So can you blame an officer for like approaching somebody with a gun at the get-go?
These are all variables that shouldn't be taken into consideration.
We shouldn't talk about this.
The only 2 variables is cop white, perp black.
Yeah,
that's
hate crime.
Only variables.
Racism.
Only variables that I need to know.
And then like I saw like yesterday, I believe there was a black police officer, I believe in like Texas, maybe Dallas. He got shot and killed on the job. Is Black Lives Matter gonna march for that man? We all know the answer to that. No. Absolutely not. They won't. They won't riot. They won't march for anybody that doesn't suit their narrative that like the police are racist and like are hunting down black people.
Noah says, Tim Pool said the lawyers are using a position involving a frame of video showing a white substance on George Floyd's tongue, congruent with the more than lethal amount of fentanyl in his system.
I saw that too. I've seen videos and pictures of that, what Noah is talking about. And that's why I believe that, like, when he saw the officer approach, he put that, whatever he had on him, in his mouth. Because he's done that before. They've arrested him before, and he's done that. He's swallowed his drug.
He has a record of swallowing drugs. But again, that's a variable that we don't want to consider, okay?
Well, yeah, otherwise, like, it just doesn't fit the narrative that, like, Black lives do matter. And I agree, Black lives do matter. But unfortunately, like, this is not a case where it was just pure racism that the cop had in his heart towards George Floyd. The cop was just responding to the call. And he happened to know who George Floyd was and, like, know what his past was and what his past history was.
They're operating off a lot of assumptions.
The children of the lie.
Children of the lie.
They really are the children of the lie.
Well, this is what happens when you're trained, you're conditioned to programmed to catastrophize every situation. So you see one thing happen, and you all of a sudden think of the worst case scenario, and you think it's part of some grand conspiracy that's behind the scenes operating at all times. It's inescapable. This is how their brains work, which is why they see any little thing happen, whether it has to do with Trump or police or whatever it is, and they completely melt down. Yeah. They have anxiety attacks. Oh, yeah. They scream at the sky.
They have to have their safe spaces. They got to go, like, go to their safe spaces and color.
All that stuff. They've all been conditioned, and I'm sure there's some kind of, like, parental or genetic factors built in that make you predisposed to being conditioned in this way. But, it's obvious that, they're all conditioned or programmed, as you say. And it's sad, really.
It's this very sad thing. And we were talking about this before the stream, because I have hope for that people can, like, get off the program and, like, get out of it. But he's, like, so dim and gloomy. He's like, no, they're hopeless. They're too far gone. And I was like, I want to believe that, but I can't. I just have too much hope. Too much hope in my heart.
I think it's generational.
It is generational. And I wasn't...
You can teach a new generation as
I wasn't raised to hate police officers or believe that Black people are oppressed. I was raised that everybody has an equal shot in this country.
Well, I could propose a change right now that would save a lot of lives.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
As president, no.
As the leader of the world.
I would add a simple program to all public education wherein police officers would come in, or advocates of police officers or related departments in some kind of public position would come in and simply teach everyone, required, teach you how the police operate and the best way to interact with police, the optimal way to interact with police. Yeah. That's it. All you have to do is teach them to optimally interact with police. Put your hands on the steering wheel. Don't reach for anything when you're told not to.
Look them in the eye.
Don't talk back to them. Don't have attitude. Don't fight back.
Say yes or no, sir.
Yes or no, sir.
Yeah, just
be polite.
Be polite. Even if they're being rude to you, be polite.
And do it in a non-biased way where you actually are advocating for their rights at the same time, where you say, don't tell them more than you have to. If the cop asks you, where are you driving to tonight? Don't answer. Yeah. Just say, I'm not going to be answering any more questions, sir. Yeah. So we're not telling you to just give everything away to the cops. We're teaching you to respond in an optimal manner. When I say optimal, I mean that in all respects.
Be clever.
For the safety of the outcome, safety of you and the officer, and for the least amount of chance for you to get a ticket. If you're just trying to slide out of a parking ticket or a speeding ticket, the optimal way to interact with police. Yeah. Just teach them.
Or, just be respectful. Like, even if they're disrespectful, get their information. You can request their badge information, their name. You can request a lot of shit from them if they're being rude or being mean, or if you feel that they're not being just towards you. But if you come off of disrespectful, they're just gonna arrest your ass. Like, they don't care. Like, just do it. Just give them, not give them what they want, but just be smarter than them.
The basic fundamental truth that they need to understand about every police interaction is that it's 50-50. They go into it thinking it's 100-0, where 100% of the power in the situation is in the hands of the cops, and that the outcome is solidified no matter what you do. Man. They think their actions have no effect on the outcome. And that message in and of itself, the message of the cops want to kill you and you have no power, it's disempowering. It's naturally, inherently disempowering. My message of teach them how to interact with cops actually gives Black people power to handle the situation and have an effect on their own outcome.
I've been saying it too. I'm like, don't get mad.
I want to empower the blacks.
I want to too. That's why I try to encourage all my black friends. I'm like, look, don't get mad that the cops exist. Get smarter than the cops and learn their rules and learn the mechanisms that they have to work with, and then be smarter than that. Learn if you're so mad at the systems, instead of trying to like get rid of the systems completely, learn about the systems and try to like weave your way through it like a clever person, like any clever person should in life.
Exactly.
Like, and then at the same time, do like try to change what you can. But there are certain things that we really can't change.
Take care of what you have in your sphere of control first.
Yeah.
And until you've operated to your full capacity to manipulate all the variables that you have control over, until you've reached that point and you've exhausted all the efforts to change the variables on your own, then you can seek and blame external sources.
Right? Yeah.
That's it.
Start with yourself. Work with what you can have and do have power over, and then, just extend that.
Then blame other people.
Then
Don't
blame
other people first and then expect things to change for you.
I mean, I've never had a bad police encounter. Not because like I am a cute girl. That's one. But I'm always respectful to the officer.
Cute girl privilege.
I know, cute girl privilege, totally. But I'm also really polite and respectful to police officers, and I respect what they do. And if they do pull me over for whatever reason, I'm like, it must be for a reason, not because like I'm of a certain skin color. It's because I did something that like warrants them pulling me over and saying like, hey, what are you doing? Like, you're going 80 miles an hour in a 65. Like, what's going on here? Or you're going like, you did a California roll. Like, are you okay? Because some people like drive crazy and they're freaking, you know what a California roll is.
I don't want to talk about it on stream. I was a president of Young Americans for Liberty in college, and one of the things that we did was teach people how to interact with police.
I mean, that's smart.
Because you don't want to tell them where you're going or what to do. You don't want to answer any questions.
I
talked my way out of a couple speeding tickets.
Oh, yeah. You can totally talk your way out of anything.
If you know how to interact with them, it's like any other skill in life. You have to have the ability and the skill, and then you can operate, like you were saying, you can manipulate your way through it. So.
You can weave your way through it. Oh, yeah. Olivia with the super chat. $20. Hell yeah. I dig it.
Thanks, Olivia.
We appreciate you.
That's man, she's on fire tonight.
I know she is.
Crazy.
Super crazy. What else we got? Who else is? Oh, we got lots of chats tonight.
We got a lot of chats to catch up on.
Everybody's
we went hard
with us tonight.
We went hard on the George Floyd and black stuff. So let's catch up on these chats here. Yeah. Addicted to Drum says, let Thomas Sowell set the policy for race relations in our country.
Yeah, but see, Thomas Sowell is just too logical.
I would think that's a great idea.
I think it's a great idea too, because I love his ideas on race relations and like just how he thinks about it, because he's smart.
Thomas Sowell, for those who don't know, is a black economist. He has all the material you ever need to dunk on leftists with economic and race policy. So if you want to know more about race and all the myths that they tell you about why black people are oppressed in an economic sense, look up Thomas Sowell on YouTube. That's a rabbit hole that you will go down for a long time. So be warned, don't do it right now because it's late.
Yeah,
do it tomorrow.
It's late, and not to mention you're in the stream with us, so keep paying attention to us until we're over.
Keep the attention direct.
Yeah, pay attention to us, because we're good to look at and we're fun and we're talking about cool things. But after the stream's over, look up Thomas Sowell. He'll change your whole outlook on how you view things.
Great recommendation, Addicted. I agree.
I like him because he doesn't play the victim card for the black community. He's here saying like black people are just as capable as any other race, but they're pressing themselves and keeping racism alive by teaching their children that they're somehow less than because of their skin color, when that's not true. Like, it's not. But they're keeping it alive in their own community.
They're pressing themselves by keeping that alive.
They're keeping that mindset alive.
Nothing more damaging than telling a kid that the entire world hates you and is going to try and stop you anytime you try to succeed in life.
Right? Or that
What's that going to do to their mentality?
Or that if you're driving down the car and you get pulled over and you're a black kid, then it's because you're black. Not because you're speeding or your taillight's busted or you did something that's, traffic violation. But
Dave with another $20
the black community just wants to keep the racism alive and keep that narrative going that we're the eternal victims and that we can't succeed because of our skin color.
They maintain their sphere of control.
Yeah, and I'm over it. Like
Dave MCL.
Break out of that mindset, people. On all fronts. White, black, Asian, all of it.
Yeah. Personal responsibility gives you this famous Spider-Man quote, right? Everyone thinks with great power comes great responsibility, but it actually works the other way around too. Secret trick for all of you guys: if you accept the responsibility, you also get the power.
You do. You get
That's how it
so
works.
much power.
You can't get one without the other.
It's very true. You're so smart.
Dave hitting it up with another $20 super chat. Thank you, Dave.
And he says, neener, neener, neener. I think Dave and Olivia got like a super chat war going on.
The super chat battle.
They've got some stuff going on in the chat, and I love it. I love this participation tonight. This is great, you
That's how
guys.
we do it.
This is awesome.
All right, where were we at on the chats here? Okay, so Dave says news has been celebritized. Oh, celebritized. The person with the most viewers is the person that is speaking the truth. Yeah, so like the viewers is corresponding to like your truth level.
Yeah.
Which obviously is BS.
Or how many followers you have.
Yes.
Means you're more.
Yeah, or if you have a blue check mark.
Yeah, if you have a blue check mark, then you're more truthful than somebody without a blue check mark. If you don't have a blue check mark, you're a conspiracy theorist. But if you have a blue check mark and you're speaking lies, you're right.
Yeah, that's why Project Veritas, no blue check mark.
Oh yeah, they would never
But
get
he's
a blue,
got a
they will
crazy
get,
repertoire.
They will
of,
never get a blue check mark
Yeah.
because they just are too correct on a lot of different stuff.
Noah brings up the fact that there was a bunch of memorials and funerals for George Floyd during a pandemic, but yeah.
But
You don't want to talk about that, Noah.
we don't want to talk about that. But I personally know a few people who've had family or friends die during the pandemic, and they couldn't have like a real funeral service.
Or
for
their
them.
parents died in the hospital alone.
Yeah, because they can't go into the room with them, and like spend their last few moments with their family members. Like that's sad.
Terribly sad.
It's terribly sad. Like we need to hold like hospitals accountable for that kind of crap too. Like
I would go in with a gun.
be like,
I don't care. I'd go to jail. Defiant Politics says people who would want to live the way don't have equal opportunity in America. If you live with the guns, the FBI will be called on you. Maybe.
Maybe. I mean,
That's why you don't talk about having guns.
not the FBI, but the ATF, because we all know that the ATF are a bunch of fascists too.
Tardo McGee says, how about stopping abortion? #1 killer of blacks.
I agree.
Abortion centers purposely set up in poor inner city areas.
That's why I'm pro-life, and I tell people all the time, if you really do care about, if Black lives really do matter, you'd be out in front of Planned Parenthood trying to convince black women to stop killing their babies.
I think it was New York. I don't know what the year the statistics were from, but I think it was maybe 2016. More black babies were aborted than born.
It's true.
How is that not?
And we wonder why the black population is still stagnant at like 13%.
How is that not genocide?
It's totally genocide.
And they talk about genocide, every other thing. 2 guys die, they call it genocide. Millions of babies died. No, nobody wants to talk about that.
We want to just talk about like George Floyd, who like basically killed himself, but we don't want to talk about the poor black babies that are innocent and can't defend themselves and get sucked out of the womb before they even have a chance at life.
Yeah.
Like, let's not talk about that.
No.
That's how we're gonna improve the black community by aborting babies and making sure no more black babies are born.
Again, I think we could reverse that overnight if we just had some white supremacists come out and endorse abortion.
Right? We were talking about that, like, not on the stream, but
Isn't that like a white supremacist dream?
That's
abortion?
a white supremacist wet dream.
Abortion is like the best thing in the world for a white supremacist.
Well, and also too, the founder of Planned Parenthood, Margaret Sanger, like spoke at Klan rallies.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, of course, like
No, it's a myth.
it's not a myth. Like, this is historical fact.
Yeah, but it doesn't work in my favor, so it's a myth.
Oh, okay. My bad. I'll keep your myth alive by spreading the lie.
Perpetuate my narrative.
You gotta keep the oppression alive by spreading the lie.
Exactly.
We're gonna be children of the lie, like total children of the lie.
That's right.
I'm not gonna like be a champion of truth and light and freedom and love, but just the lie.
No, we'll do it sarcastically though.
Yeah, we'll do it totally sarcastically. Oh my goodness, yeah.
Steve says he kind of hates that anyone who gets shot becomes a saint and gets crowdfunding.
Yeah, it's true.
I've done research on all of these Black Lives Matter names. A lot of them have gotten multi-million-dollar settlements from the cities and the states, even though they were, in a lot of cases, in the wrong.
Oh yeah, it doesn't matter. Like, hell, even locally, Stephon Clark. We had that kid that got shot by the cops a couple years ago. Stephon Clark. How much did his family get paid out by the city?
12 million, I think.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And I think his brother tried to run for mayor or something in Sacramento, or city council or something like that. Like, and his brother's like only like a young kid, so it's like, and he's like radical. It's like, dude, I'm sorry, but like nobody wants to elect a radical, like, and you don't have any political experience whatsoever.
Well, he just quit doing that stuff too because he said it was too tiring.
It is
so
tiring.
He's out of that.
It's not for everybody. Politics is not for everybody. So if you can't handle it, just go away.
Yeah, I could say some. I'm gonna withhold my comments on that whole industry of paying criminals.
Yeah, me too. Because then you get called especially you get called a racist.
Jeff Taylor says, "Love to stream, bro. Love your channel. Thanks, Jeff."
Thank you, Jeff.
We're
we
here
appreciate
for you,
the
man.
love. Yeah,
we're here for you. Thanks for dropping by the chat.
Yeah, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Hit the notification bell.
Yeah, guys, make sure your notification bells are on because in case you didn't notice, we just released a new video from Women's March
last weekend.
And yep, we released it on Tuesday, I think it was. And yeah, it doesn't look like hardly anyone got any notifications on that. So.
Yeah, I mean, just click that little bell, turn the notifications on, because you want to be informed when we post stuff, when we're going live, because we want you to be a part of the stream. We want you to like us and not listen to us, but just at least hear what we have to say. You don't have to take everything we say verbatim.
Well, that's the thing. We're not here to tell you what to think.
We're just telling you to think.
We're just here to think out loud with you guys.
Say what you guys
of relief.
Say what you guys might be afraid to say, but we're going to say it out loud and on the internet, especially with the YouTube overlords looking over us.
Yeah, we'll question if it's the right thing to say, or if it makes sense.
Yeah.
We're gonna make.
But most of you guys make sense, and that's why we love you.
Sense makers. Yeah, my audience. I don't know if you know my audience that well, but if you can tell, but they're pretty smart.
They're pretty smart. And I mean, I've brought a few people into the audience. So
you have.
Just a few. I mean, send it to my friends and family, all that good stuff.
Yeah, that's true. You're spreading the good word.
I am. I'm trying, and they're loving what we come up with as well.
This is a good capstone on the whole topic of the George Floyd updates and the black people and police right here. Dead Schooled says, black people should listen to Morgan Freeman and free themselves of their parents' brainwashing. Slavery ended 400 years ago.
100% agreed, Dead Schooled. Slavery has been gone for a long time, but people still want to be mentally enslaved.
He was race baited in an interview. I don't know if you saw this, but what he's referring to is Morgan Freeman was in an interview and a narrator asked him basically, well, what about racism? What do we do about racism? And Morgan Freeman said, well, just stop talking about it.
Yeah. I think that was with Don Lemon.
Maybe.
I think it was with,
yeah, it could be.
It was with Don Lemon, because
Don Lemon.
Don Lemon.
You do the Tucker Carlson pronunciation?
I like saying Don Lemon because it's so hilarious. Gives it a little more ethnicity instead of saying Don Lemon.
That makes me sound French. I like lemon because he's
Don
sour.
Lemon. He is super sour. But what was great was Don Lemon was so perplexed by his answer. And Morgan Freeman just simply said, look at me and you. Look at me and you. We're two success stories.
Incredibly successful.
Two incredibly successful, men here talking to each other, and you have the nerve to tell me that racism is still alive. We are proof that racism is not a big problem anymore in this country. Me and you, right here, sitting here in front of millions of people talking right now. And you want to sit here and say how is racism still a big thing? It's not. It's not.
Yeah, people are mentioning Jesse Lee Peterson, also a good resource to look
JLP.
if you want to look at
Beta.
A black man talking about racism.
Oh man, what was the first thing I said when Joe Biden got on the stage with the mask on?
Oh yeah, Beta.
Beta. I love JLP, even though even though I should hate him as a fucking lesbian because he hates the gays.
Yeah.
I love him because he hates us so much. I love it. I'm like, it's okay. Criticize us. Calls us lesbians. I would love to interview with him because I feel like he would just be perplexed at me.
It'd be a fun interview.
It would be. It would be so fun. I watched an interview he did the other day with some asexual person, and I was just like, oh God, he's just gonna tear a new one into this kid. And this kid held his own against him, which was pretty impressive. So
Olivia is continuing the super chat battle.
Oh, she likes us.
With another $20 super chat. Unbelievable.
I know. Look at all the love.
Unbelievable. Olivia, thank you.
Thank you for the super chat.
That is insane. You guys are ridiculous, but I'm not going to stop you.
Yeah, go ahead. We're not going to say no. We're going to say yes to that. And we're going to say yes to a lot of different things. And then another super chat from Dave.
Dave fights right back with another $20 super chat.
You guys are just going toe to toe. I know, it's all Olivia's fault.
He says, I'm a man. I don't take responsibility.
No, beta.
So that's what happens, Dave. You give us a $20 super chat, and then Delaney calls you a beta.
I mean, you're not a beta for giving us a super chat, but for you saying you're a man and you don't take responsibility, beta.
Oh,
Come on, man. Come on, man.
Jesus Christ. Olivia fires right back.
With another $20.
Insane.
I know this is a great stream tonight.
Crazy. You guys are on fire. I don't even know what to say.
Super
Thank you
fire.
guys so much. I literally don't even know what to say.
I mean, this is great. We got
It's
20
ridiculous.
million people in the stream, and we've got all the super chats flying. We got all the just engagement going on in the chat. This is a great stream.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Crazy.
Okay, what else we got in the chat?
Trump's getting 4 more years. Shalom says, my bets are in. My bets are in as well, Shalom.
I think so too.
Thinking of buying a drum set with monies. What about you two? Oh, I'm going to do, what am I going to buy with my money that I
With
get?
your Trump bucks?
My Trump bucks that I put up. I got to think about that. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either. I have to really think about it. I mean,
Maybe
it's
a
probably not
new,
going to be that much.
Maybe
but
a new motherboard and processor, maybe.
you're going to go the nerd route.
Upgrade my PC, yeah.
Upgrade that.
To provide more quality to the videos.
There you
know what
go.
I mean?
Yeah,
It's for
yeah.
video rendering.
Yeah,
of course.
totally.
Yeah, totally. I'm not going to use it for gaming
Amazing.
at all.
It's not for gaming at all. No gaming going on.
Dave says, I hate to say this, but most of the, quote, enlightened people are more like the emperor's new clothes. They only agree because then people say they are enlightened.
Yeah, it's true.
Is this like
It's-
the enlightened centrist meme?
I call them the woke-divists. Like they think that they're woke, but they're really not. They're the most asleep people that there is.
Yeah, anyone who uses that word, I think, is pretty...
They say woke or enlightened or their mind has been opened. I'm like, no, it's really not, because if your mind is really open, you would be happy and proud of like the positive things that have happened over the last 4 years under the president that we've had. But instead, you just want to be hateful. That's not woke to me. That's not woke to me. Like,
yeah.
I'm sorry, like...
It is woke, as that means when you just blatantly, openly, unquestionably accept all the narratives of Hollywood, mainstream media, and corporations. Is that woke?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, totally woke.
Totally woke.
So woke, guys. That's, wow, so open-minded, so free thinker.
Yeah. I mean, more and more...
Insert meme of the Doge dog here. So free thinker.
I've been, like, on the social medias, and I've been seeing a lot of more celebrities endorsing Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, and I'm just like, oh, God, this is so sad. Like, they're just...
Later, Noah. Thanks for dropping by, buddy.
See you later, Noah.
See you next time.
Thanks for the follow, Noah, on Instagram as well.
Nice. Building that up, huh?
Yeah, I'm building it up a little bit. I got my few people. I'm networking a little bit. There's this other content creator. She's a lesbian. I believe she's in Washington State. Her and I have been talking on Instagram. She sent me a video of like something that she made about like why she's a lesbian and she supports Trump. And I'm just over here like, yeah, get a girl.
Those minorities are coming out for Trump this time. I'm telling you guys, the blacks, the minorities, all the
gays, I've even seen trannies for Trump too.
I think we're going to see record numbers this year for minority support of Republican
I
candidates.
think so too, at least for Trump. Like at
For
least
Trump.
I don't even think it's really just the Republican Party. I think it's
50
just Trump.
Cent?
I mean, yeah, 50 Cent
Ice
came
Cube?
out.
Ice Cube and 50 Cent? They
Ice
did.
Cube didn't come out and say
Ice Cube was like,
I'm here for black people.
I don't endorse him.
Yeah, he's like, I don't endorse him, but he's like his cabinet and his
But
party.
he listened to me and he changed his policies.
Exactly.
Basically said he's
like for Trump.
Yeah.
I mean, but 50 Cent saying like, he was saying, I don't want to be 23 cent. That was pretty great. 50 Cent was...
He posted on Twitter, he saw the tax numbers that were going to be in New York, I think it was, and he's like, oh, hell no.
Yeah, I'm not going to be paying 60-something% taxes. Like, heck no. Are you kidding me? Mm-hmm. That's a big no. That's a no for me, dog.
I don't blame him.
I don't blame him either.
Cenk Uygur came out and posted a rebuttal to 50 Cent's comment saying he doesn't want to be 20 Cent. And he's like, well, you care more about paying taxes than saving lives? The leftists are now literally making the argument, be taxed or die. Because in their minds, if you vote for Trump, you want genocide of black people. You just want
to perpetuate hate and negativity and like no philanthropy, like nothing like that.
Olivia with another $20 super chat.
Olivia, you are doing
Girl,
us so
you are
good.
out of your mind. Thank you. She says she's off to bed, but we appreciate you dropping by. All your support is insane.
Yep. We
unbelievable.
Appreciate it 100%.
Definitely a VIP.
Oh, and also too, 50 Cent, Ice Cube, and Waka Flocka. You know who Waka Flocka is? He's a rapper too. He came out and saying like, between Trump and Biden, like Trump's a better pick. And the left was like all over him. Like, how dare you say that Trump is actually probably a better pick, business-wise.
Yep.
everybody I know who's like a business owner or like has some kind of understanding about how business works, they're on the Trump side.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to pay more money to the government for stupid shit.
Any interest in economics at all, you can tell that Trump is the better choice.
Defiant Politics says, I hope Trump didn't lose because he caught COVID. You guys don't think that didn't affect anything? I mean,
I think it was good.
I think it was good, honestly. It just shows that, like, if you get the right proper care, you can fight it. So.
Amanda liked my Cenk impersonation. I wasn't even trying to do an impersonation, but
I mean,
all you have to do an impersonation of Cenk is just get like super emotional.
Just say, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
That's bullshit.
That's bullshit. Just like that science teacher in our Women's March video.
He was doing a Cenk impression.
That guy was like a mini Cenk.
Yeah, you did mini Cenker.
Mini Cenker here in Sacramento is that science teacher wearing the mask and everything. And I love how he tried to be like, I'm wearing the mask for you. And you're just like, okay, well.
The funniest thing about that was when I started talking about the mask and COVID in that interview, he like stepped back because he became aware of the fact that he was standing close to me and that I wasn't wearing a mask.
Mm-hmm. That was so funny. Oh, and by the way, guys, before we were even while we were like trying to march with the Women's March, we were like the only people in the crowd that was not wearing masks. But we were socially distancing. We weren't like in the crowd. We were like off to the side. Yep. And the Antifa EMT crew like saw that we were wearing masks and they came up to us and they were like, "Do you guys want a mask?" And I was just like, "No, I'm good. I have one." And I didn't put one on. And they like just gave us the dirtiest, like most sour look you could ever like see on a freaking human being.
Yeah, we were outside. It was good.
That's what I said. I was like, we're outside. It's good. And even when we were in the park and we weren't even in the crowd of people. We waited for them to kind of disperse and we were doing interviews with people. And you could just tell that we were the only ones in the crowd not wearing masks and we were just getting the dirtiest looks you could ever see from people. Like, you're not a part of us. Mm-hmm. And even after the march,
nobody said anything about it though, aside from those two girls. Nobody said.
Aside from those two Antifa EMT
I think they're afraid to say it to my face. That's the thing. These people don't. It's rare that they want to say it directly to your face.
Oh yeah, well they were saying it to me, not to you. They were asking me.
Oh, they were?
Yeah, they were like, "Do you want a mask?" Like looking at me, and I'm like, "No, I have one in my pocket."
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, they were trying to they weren't going to ask you because you've got that straight white male privilege and intimidating.
I'm like 6'3" and they're like 5'2". So.
Yeah, they're like little pathetic little wimps of humans. So of course.
Dead Schooled says you look like Vasquez from Aliens. You know who that is?
No.
I'll have to show you afterwards.
Yeah, show me a picture.
I'll show her Dead Schooled.
I mean, I've gotten a lot of people saying I look like a lot of different characters. Like,
I've gotten told that I look like an anime character. I don't know what that means. I don't know. I think that's a good thing. But.
I mean, I've gotten told I look like a character from Overwatch. The one like kind of colored chick that has the mohawk and Overwatch. I don't know if you play Overwatch, but
Anna is the only colored chick. Oh no. Yeah.
I don't know their names. I just know what they look like.
She's old and she has long hair. If you had long hair, maybe.
Somebody told me I look like somebody from Overwatch, and I was like, I
don't see it.
Maybe I don't know. I don't really play Overwatch, and I don't even know the characters' names. I mean, yeah, I'm not that schooled in the video games. I only play a few certain video games. So
just a normie. I'm
a total normie, except for a few things. Not that bad. But this is a great chat, man.
Yeah, I don't think we had any more topics to cover tonight.
I mean, we had a few like in the run, but
we got some big ones though. We want to talk about like in a full stream.
Yeah,
this was mostly like a debate recap.
This was a debate recap, but there's a lot of other things, especially like what's going on in Africa. But I think that we should save that for in a whole nother time because that's a whole like deep dive of stuff that we can get into, which is really sad and like my heart goes out to like all the people in Africa right now, or not all the people, but in like Nigeria and just. What's going on in there?
I don't even know about that. I gotta look into it.
Don't even know what's going on in Nigeria?
I gotta look into it.
Yeah, we'll look into it.
How would I know that nobody covers the news?
Yeah, I'll send you a link. We'll go
over that next.
We'll go over that in its entirety in the next stream. How about that? Because like we can just do a whole.
Sombra, that's what. Yeah, Dead School's right. Sombra. Sombra is like a Hispanic.
I mean.
She's hot.
Yeah, she's cute for an anime character, I guess. I mean, I don't really dig cartoons like that, but if she was like a real life person, maybe if I found that costume and I cosplayed it, I could probably like do it really well. You probably could, yeah. People would be like, "Oh, I know who you are," and I'd be like,
Amanda brought up a good topic. Let's see.
What did she say?
Let's see. A local R&B station was broadcasting, "Remember to get out and vote like your life depends on it because it does."
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's
no.
not propaganda.
Yeah, well, she was piggybacking off of what I was saying with Cenk. Cenk Uyghur was basically saying, 50 Cent is valuing taxes over lives. And Biden, again, in the debate tonight, Biden looked directly at the camera early on and said, you might die, or whatever it was, basically referring to COVID.
Just fear-mongering.
Do you want to die?
I'm sorry, I'm just not about fear-mongering.
200,000 more people will die.
200,000 more by the end of the year.
With those weird, slow-moving arm movements.
I'm telling you, he's a robot. He's a total robot.
He might be.
AI. I'm telling you, I don't want to get down the rabbit hole of what a lot of conspiracy theorists on the right have been saying, but now the more I watch,
we could do a conspiracy theory stream.
Totally, on the right and the left. But the right's, I feel like the right's conspiracy theories are so much more interesting, though.
They're more fun.
They're more fun. She's not cute. What are you talking about, Olivia?
TYT sucks.
TYT does suck.
I think so. TYT is one of the few leftist channels that I actually don't follow. I follow everybody else on the left, okay, except basically TYT. And I was watching some clips from them the other night, and I saw how many subscribers they have. They have like 5 million subscribers on YouTube.
Oh God!
And it started to click in my head. I was like, this is why everyone is so emotional and catastrophic and mentally ill, because they're listening to this stuff all day.
Yeah.
They're listening to Cenk and that chick who is insanely neurotic. And that white guy who is just like, I forgot his name, but he just melts down over every single little thing.
Yeah.
It's the epitome of mental illness. I don't even understand how it's still online, but.
They say they hate capitalism so much, but they accept millions of dollars from Google to set up a brand new studio for themselves, multi-million-dollar studio.
And they're basically endorsed by YouTube, and Google because they pump the narrative that they want.
Because but they hate capitalism. They don't want capitalism at all, but they want money from capitalism.
Night, Olivia.
Good night, Olivia. Good night, Dave. Have a good night. Sleep tight. I'm not going to say what the rest I say for when I say good night to people, just because it's not appropriate, and I don't think you want to hear it.
It might be weird.
It would be so weird, but I think it would be cute. I think it's cute, but I know you don't want to.
It's not even good fear mongering. That's the thing. It's so weak and pathetic. Just if you were to spend 5 minutes in an emergency meeting where your whole team had to come together and be like, all right, guys, we need to come up with a quick strategy for how we're going to manipulate these people using emotion. What do we do? Oh, I got an idea. Just tell them they're going to die.
And then if somebody has a counter, just say, it's bullshit. If anybody questions, it's bullshit. That's bullshit.
That's perfect.
Just say it's bullshit.
Just repeat that over and over and over.
Just repeat the lie and over again.
Just get really angry.
Get emotional, because if you get emotional, that means you're right.
Yeah, that your emotionality is directly proportional to your correctness.
And your truth.
The level of truth. We all know that.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you get, the more mad you get, that means you're more true and you're more right and more correct.
3 hard drives. Are you talking about the 3 phones addicted? I don't know what you mean by 3 hard drives.
I mean,
because that guy that just came out with the Biden emails, he had 3 phones that he's going to hand over.
Maybe he means
there's going to be some juicy stuff on
there. I mean, there is. It is literally.
That's the story to watch, folks. That is the story to watch.
Keep yourself tapped into that story, guys. Stay tuned. Yep. If you actually want to stay in tune with what's actually happening.
It's not going to be covered.
And not what the mainstream media refuses to cover.
It's not going to be covered.
It's not going to be covered because that goes against Joe Biden, and they don't want it to go against Joe Biden.
But you will hear about it right here
on Weekly Narrative.
And I think that's a good. It's a good way to end it.
I think so too. I had fun. Did you guys have fun?
It was an awesome stream.
This was a good stream.
Anna Kasparian, that's her name. She's really out of touch.
Oh,
she's
I know.
Insane.
And she's not even cute either.
It's ridiculous.
It's not only are you crazy, but you're not even that good to look at. So what are you here for?
All right, guys. If you want to catch us again, let's see. We'll probably be on Monday or Tuesday.
I think Tuesday.
Maybe somewhere around there. But if you have the notifications on, then you'll know.
Yeah, share, subscribe. Turn on the notification bell.
We're doing it at least 2 a week, so.
Yeah, we want to try to live stream at least once a week, and then when events pop up, twice a week?
Twice a week.
Well, at least twice a week. And if events pop up, we'll cover that for you and release that for you guys. Just like the Women's March video that we just released for you guys. That was some good stuff we got.
I think it was fun.
It was a good time. We'll do so much more.
A lot more to come, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out and chatting. We loved it. We had a great time. Hope you did too. We'll see you next time.
On the Weekly Narrative.